we'll simply build another one. He's proficient in all types of combat.
His polymer structure makes him virtually immune to small arms fire. He's equipped with motion sensors and night vision. He's about 15 times stronger, 10 times faster than any man. It's not just a weapon, he can make decisions. Killing innocent people makes Solo feel bad.
He isn't supposed to feel anything. He's a weapon.
Terminate Solo.
I want this thing over with now.
Hey Brad.
Yeah?
I think this is the wrong Solo movie. This is a movie from the 80s with Mario Van Peebles.
Oh, I was wondering why they cast a black guy for Han Solo.
Are you offended by the black guys?
No, it's just we were hating on it really bad, and then I thought, oh, wow, what the hell did Ron Howard do to this movie?
Well, I was thinking, what the fuck is Mario Van Peebles doing in a Star Wars movie?
That's what I thought, too, because, Lando's supposed to be the one black guy. You can't have two in the universe.
He's not just a weapon. He can make decisions.
Killing innocent people makes Solo feel bad.
He's not supposed to have feelings. He's a weapon.
Every time I call anywhere, it's yes, ma'am. And they'll know my name. Like, I give them my whole name and everything. Is this Bradley Kingston? Yes.
Well, ma'am,
okay, yeah. What can I do for you, ma'am? Well, you... Can you not call me ma'am? That's what you can do for me.
Starting now! Yes, ma'am.
Now, I could start every phone call with, like, hello, 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 this is my low voice.
Yes, sir.
I am Brad. Do I sound like Brad to you? Yes, ma'am. I mean, sir. Yeah. It's just whatever. I just deal with it. I'm a ma'am on the phone.
Yeah, I deal with it too.
I'm a hairy man.
A bearded lady. You're a...
It doesn't help that this back brace squishes my boobs up. And I feel like I have breasts.
Would you stop touching them, please?
It's fat!
Yeah, but
it's fat!
Whatever you're doing, stop doing it right in front of my face.
Highlighted my male feminine features.
And then you said, I'm fat! Which is also very feminine, I guess. Even though I say it all the time.
And now I'm going to get tweets about wanting my shirt off. No, thank you.
Hey, can you do a Chewbacca impersonation?
Kind of.
Let me hear it.
Hold on, I gotta get water in my throat.
That's the shittiest Chewbacca.
He's drowning.
Yeah, Chewbacca. Why is... It sounds like he's choking on... It sounds like he's choking on semen. Why is Chewbacca's... Why is your Chewbacca impersonation choking on semen? Here we go.
You're using your tongue. I was using my throat. Wow. I could do my tongue, but it's more of a... By the way, you know that it's actually the sound designer's cat. Did you know that? I put that up on the movie.
I think I saw that. Anyway, so welcome to Movieisms.
By the way, that Han Solo guy, he was doing the back of his throat thing when he was speaking Chewbacca, Kashyyyk?
Whatever.
Kashyyykian?
So if it's not obvious, we're talking about Han Solo or Solo: a Star Wars story on our show this week.
Yes.
A movie that I will say up front, I did not want. When I heard about it, I was like, ugh. They're going to ruin it. They're going to overdo it. It's the way I feel every time I hear about them making a new Toy Story. I'm like, you guys, you already knocked it out of the park like once. You're going to make a Toy Story 2? Oh, you already knocked it out of the park twice. Now you're going to make a Toy Story. And now they're making a Toy Story 4. I'm really worried that they're finally going to overdo it with Toy Story 4.
They might as well just introduce a shark as a new character in 4.
And then have them actually jump the shark.
Yeah.
But we'll see, because Toy Story 3 was so emotionally, like, satisfying. You never know. So, again, I did not ask for it. I did not want a Han Solo movie. I thought, why do we have to keep rebeating this stuff to, and when you buy Lucasfilm from George Lucas for $4 billion, you gotta find a way to turn that into money. So they could have just continued to make Star Wars TV shows, maybe some spin-off movies,
they could have done like
games
a Firefly, or what was that show called? Firefly was the movie, but the show was
Serenity.
Yeah. Oh wait, no, Firefly was the show. Serenity was the movie. Yeah. So they could have done, because that was what Firefly was. It was Han Solo and the Millennium Falcon, really. That could have been a TV show.
They could have really not ever done anything new like the way they've done with these Star Wars movies, and still made a ton of money, because the amount of money that comes in just from selling toys, video games, T-shirts, all that stuff, would over time is like the longest tail worth of money coming in, out there. However, they have to beat it into the ground and scare us to death for 2 years with the prospect of a Han Solo movie, 3-4 years, like whenever. That was the first thing they announced, was that they were going to do 3 more legacy Star Wars movies, the Luke Skywalker stories, and a Han Solo movie. Now,
and by the way, there's a good chance that people that are listening to this haven't seen the movie, because according to the box office record, no one is seeing it.
I was also nervous because from the start, I don't know if it's Kathleen Kennedy, but I think it was Kathleen Kennedy. The person who's in charge of the Lucasfilm franchise, Lucasfilm part of Disney right now. Fired the original directors. The original directors who were comedic directors. They were shooting from the hip. They were doing a lot of improvisation stuff. And, I don't know why they hired those people in the first place if they didn't want them to do that. If you and I do a particular thing and someone hires us and we start doing it and then they fire us, I'm going to be like, the fuck? What did you think we were going to do?
Yeah.
But they did.
She hired them, I guess, because they weren't doing what she wanted, which is, like you're saying, doesn't make sense, because you're supposed to know what you're... Anyway.
Yeah, so then they hired Ron Howard to clean...
You don't hire directors to just do it the way you want.
Yeah.
I mean, you hire directors to take a script and apply their directorial vision to it. So you can't just keep firing people until you get someone that does what you say. It doesn't work.
So they hired Ron Howard, who is a very capable Academy Award-winning filmmaker. He's made great movies in his career. To come in and clean up the mess or not mess, like who knows, that was left behind. Maybe we don't know. We don't know if it was a mess or if they just didn't like what they were doing.
Yeah, in my opinion, by the way, is that the first 10 minutes was the mess part.
Yeah, well, it's the first 30 minutes, but they
was it the first 30
It was like
minutes?
the first act of the movie.
However long it took till you got to Chewbacca, that part. I think that was the mess part, because after Chewbacca...
Well, here's the thing. Movies aren't shot in sequence. So everybody thinking, oh, this must be when Ron Howard took over is nonsense.
Maybe the part that we think is crap is when Ron Howard took over.
So, but here's the deal. They basically reshot... I think it was like 80% of what the original people shot, the original directors shot, and then they shot the rest of the movie. So 90% of the movie, I'm going to say maybe 95. So a large chunk of the movie was directed by Ron Howard, the Ron Howard way, based on what Lucasfilm wanted from the movie. So, but the problem was, by the time that happened, bad press. It was bad PR from the start. Yeah.
You can't turn on YouTube without somebody complaining about Star Wars.
They're just, it's suffered from bad PR from that moment on, that it was a runaway train, it was going to be a problem, and blah blah blah. And the movie did run. I think it was 4 weeks over schedule. They spent $300 million making the movie.
The Solo?
Yeah, they spent $300 million making the movie. Some of that's cleanup. However, they apparently only went like 4 weeks over budget. When you're talking about a movie like that, it's not that big of a part of $300 million.
From what it sounded like on a video we watched earlier, that 10% of that was them having to. Well, no, that was the other movie.
What are you doing?
I was just surprised at how much to do. What was it, Force Awakens? I was surprised at how much they had to pay Harrison Ford.
Oh, yeah. Harrison Ford.
And now that I know that they had to pay him like $30-something million just to do, and that he hated Han Solo. That's why he had to die, because he doesn't want to do it and he cost too much.
So, my problem is that even I fell. I was because
we were hating on it.
We were hearing nothing but bad news. Fired the directors, blah blah blah. It's gonna be a mess. And I saw an article maybe 4, 5, 6 months ago saying that Lucasfilm knew that the Han Solo movie was going to be a flop, and they were doing certain things that showed that they thought so.
You mean like when they don't release the movie to be seen early? But they didn't do that with this?
I don't remember. I don't know what they did for this. However, no, because people saw it within it for
right.
And then about 3 weeks before the movie came out. That's what I was trying to say. About 3 weeks before the movie came out, people started seeing it. And people started going, "Oh, wait a second, it's not."
Yeah,
It's not bad.
I was seeing a lot of. It's not that bad. It's pretty good.
Yeah, and yes, you could make an argument, say, well, we're setting ourselves up to like it by expecting it to be bad. So when you walk in and you go, oh, it's not that bad. But I was that. I was like, Han Solo was my favorite Star Wars character. I've always loved him. A lot of it had, like, I'm going to say 60, 75, 80% of it has to do with Harrison Ford specifically. And I've said it before, he's like the movie star of my childhood. Like Han Solo, Indiana Jones, Blade Runner, all those movies were the movies that were big when I was growing up.
Yeah.
And even his other stuff like Clear and Present Danger, he was just like the movie star that I admired, you know. So when they were talking about, you know, every little thing about Han Solo, even in the trailers and everything, I was like, it's not Han Solo. It doesn't look like Han Solo. He wasn't
acting like Han Solo.
So he's got big shoes to fill, because he's definitely no Harrison Ford.
Yeah, and you and I, even though we're snobs, we know that you can't force your, your preferences or your prejudices, you know. It's another actor, and it's new. We respect the fact that, because we've made films, so we respect the actor and what they have to go through, and we realize things like, for him to try to do an impression of Harrison Ford's version would be insulting. So we respect that everybody has to find their own lane in there, but sort of give a little nod or a tip of the hat to the character. So we were trying to be forgiving while coming out, assuming we were gonna not like it. We weren't happy.
Let's talk about the things we like about it.
I even remember I think like the first line, I was sitting right beside you.
And I said...
It was a terrible line, too. It was a cliche. You remember what it was?
I don't remember what it was, but I do remember hearing him speak as Han Solo for the first time, looking over at you and going, I don't like it.
Yeah.
Because there's something about... And I know what it is. We figured it out. We'll talk about it in a minute. But first of all, it sounds like we're bashing on the movie, but we're not. I'm not bashing on the movie because I came out of the thing really enjoying it. Like, it is a fun movie from start to finish. It's funny, it's exciting. Some of the it's a heist movie in a way because he's a smuggler. What do you expect a Han Solo movie to be? You know, he was a smuggler. So he's like, they're trying to break in and steal something and get out and blah, 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 and all that stuff. And they didn't force in any of the, like, Star Wars mythology stuff. They did definitely hit all the beats of, well, here's how Han Solo got the belt that he wears. Here's how Han Solo got the gun that we always see him with.
All the stories you've heard of, they tried to throw in all the greatest hits.
Right, the greatest hits. That's what you can call them. So, but I thought the movie, especially, and you said it already, when, of course, we find out how and when he met Chewbacca.
Yeah.
So once Chewbacca shows up, the movie... I never realized, that they're partners, that they're buddies, but I never realized how much Han Solo was going to need Chewbacca for it to feel alive. You know what I mean?
It was funny sitting beside you because as soon as Chewbacca showed up and as soon as they started interacting with each other, you lit up. You were laughing out loud. You were like, finally the movie started.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, he doesn't hate this movie anymore.
Yeah, Chewbacca was... Chewbacca is great. I love Chewbacca. Part of it is I love my daughter who was with us loves Chewbacca. Like, loves Chewbacca. Just hearing him, all that stuff makes her, like, laugh and giggle. And I was happy when he showed up. But... Chewbacca enters in a pretty badass way. Like, it's cool. It's like, holy shit. You forget that Chewbacca is like a warrior badass. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, I don't know. Everybody knows. I mean, what do you want to talk about? Like,
well, I think the chemistry between Chewbacca and I don't know the character's name, but Han Solo. It's funny because Chewbacca doesn't have... Peter Molyneux played the old Chewbacca.
Yeah,
they got someone else.
It's somebody else,
guy,
yeah.
Right?
I think the new guy who plays Chewbacca officially took over in The Last Jedi.
Okay.
I'm looking at him now. Talk about what you were going to...
Just that it definitely... It feels like... I will say... up until the point where he meets Chewbacca, everything just felt off. I didn't hate it, but it just didn't sit right with me. Like his relationship with the Dragon Queen.
Yeah, Emilia Clarke.
Yeah, I don't know what the character's name was in the Solo movie. Yeah. And just the way, and he wasn't acting or sounding like Han Solo.
I'm going to get to my main complaint. My main complaint about this movie is, first of all, it's written by Lawrence Kasdan and Jonathan Kasdan, and Lawrence Kasdan is the guy that wrote like the best Star Wars movies. Empire Strikes Back, and his son Jonathan Kasdan. I think they worked on it together.
Okay.
So. Here's the thing. It's very well written. The character is Han Solo.
Yes, I remember you saying when the character said certain things, you said, that's Han Solo. That's what Han Solo would say. But the way the guy delivered it isn't Han Solo.
The lines are Han Solo, but the performance is Luke Skywalker.
Yeah. It's
like a bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, like overly enthusiastic, hey, guys, we can do it. in his facial expressions and mannerisms and actions, but the lines are shrewd, sneaky, sarcastic. They're just not being delivered right. So it's not, I wouldn't even say it's a bad performance. It's wrong. It's a wrong performance. It's not right.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? I mean, I don't know if it's possible.
The writing was there. It's just that the performance wasn't the rogue, what do you call it? Sagacious with the smirk, smiling out of the corner of his face.
You said it yourself when we were like, wait a minute, he didn't give the Han Solo smirk once in the movie, and that's what Han Solo is. He's the crooked smile. Yeah. Like he's not giving us Han Solo. In fact, it's won me over. He looks more like Han Solo than I expected. Part of seeing him in the costume and seeing him go through this stuff and dealing with it and hanging out with Chewbacca, it sort of wore me down in terms of that. Like I bought into that part, but what bothered me was that he's delivering sarcastic lines in a very sanguine or what's the word? It's a gregarious way. It's like yeah, and it just does not. It's not right. I can't believe that there wasn't one person there to go, hey, did you ever think about maybe being more like Han Solo in this, like the way you say this? Because it would have been driving me crazy.
Maybe you could just be a little more cool when you deliver that line and not so...
he's giddy. He's giddy and excited. And I get that he's young, but young does not mean giddy and excited. I think Han Solo came up from where he was to where he ends up in the time that we see him because he was sneaky and like little slippery in situations and was able to navigate his way.
Scheming and manipulative, not giving all the facts, having, things in his head where he knows. That's the thing about that character is like he'll know things and not necessarily be saying them, like playing dumb. And that's where the smirk comes in. Yeah. You see the smile when he says something. You're like, you're not telling me everything.
Yeah, it's that when he talks or says something to you, it's that it's like he knows something you don't know, and he's not going to tell you. But he's going to let you know he knows so that he can, so that he knows that you don't know. Right. So I guess if that makes any sense.
That's the original Han Solo, but the new Han Solo isn't giving you that at all.
It's honestly much more like Luke Skywalker in Han Solo's costume.
Right.
And that bothers me. Bothers me because Luke Skywalker, that energy that Luke Skywalker gives off is very... Hey man, we can all do it. I love Luke Skywalker. I'm not going to complain about Luke Skywalker. He just has that energy or mannerism or character or personality, I guess you could say, does not fit the Han Solo model. Yeah. And I'm not just being and I'm not just being like, hey, well, just let him be creative. It's not creativity. It's a character. You don't hire one guy to be James Bond, and then in the next movie have somebody else be James Bond, but he's a completely different person. James Bond stays the same throughout the movies with slight little tweaks. Like
the latest James Bond was more of a grumpier, like a choleric tweak where it's just talks less and gets shit done. Yeah, but still he had enough lines and enough charisma that they kept him sort of the same. Yeah, and you don't hire somebody to be Batman and have and then have. By the way, that was the problem with Ben Affleck is he's not that. I mean, if we're talking about people not being cast right, that is one of the, we're talking about very. What do you call it? Is pedagogical? Is that a word?
Pedagogical?
Like like how a doctor is or a teacher, where they're like you got to do it this way. You got to have it, and have all the facts. Mm-hmm. So Batman is.
But it's like these days hiring
Ben Affleck
to be Batman. But then next time, just let me finish. It's like hiring Ben Affleck to be Batman, and then next time it's like, we're going to go back to the Adam West Batman. It's like crazy, and I know people love the Adam West Batman, but
Adam West was the cheesy.
And it's not Adam West's fault. That's what the show wanted to do and all this stuff. But
Back then,
in my mind, sort of almost ruined Batman for me forever. Because when I saw the Tim Burton Batman, I was like, oh, this is Batman, and that's when I fell in love with Batman. Anyway, the problem that the movie is suffering from is everybody heard that it's going to be bad. And in this world, it doesn't matter what the truth is. It only matters what you heard on the internet.
Or how you feel.
Or how you feel about it. Your own personal truth is that it's bad, whether you see it or not.
That's truthiness.
Yeah.
Stephen Colbert truthiness.
So, no one went to see it. What was it, $100 million total? Like, worldwide? Is that what we saw?
I think so. Last I saw, it had lower numbers than the Justice League movie.
Yeah, and so no one's going to see it. So if someone tells you that it's bad, ask them if they saw it, because they probably didn't. Yeah. Or they may not have seen it.
So, I mean, let's just give the verdict. I mean, because we went in thinking we were going to hate it, almost sort of wanting to hate it, because we thought, why? Yeah. Why make a Han Solo movie?
Part of me wanted to hate it so that they would stop bastardizing my childhood.
Yeah.
And I realize people say it all the time, you're ruining my childhood. It's not that. It's like, if you're going to do it good. But I did not feel like, when I first saw the first Han Solo trailer, my first reaction to you was, why are they making him an idiot goofball? He's not an idiot goofball. Han Solo never was an idiot goofball. I don't believe he started out as a goofball and became Han Solo. He was Han Solo from the start. Might have been younger, dumber, maybe, like less experienced, but never dumb or goofy, you know.
Yeah. So we actually liked it a lot, right? Yeah. Both of us.
Does it sound like we liked it? I don't know if we talked about the stuff we liked very much. I think it was fun. It was surprisingly entertaining.
I'll tell you one of my favorite parts.
Okay.
Is the whole the train, the heist, the train robbery.
Yeah.
Man, that was really good and exciting, and I even liked that character that was playing the what were they called? They're pirates, like the pirate leader.
Yeah.
I even whispered to you, I said, I think this might be one of my new favorite Star Wars characters.
You did say that.
The whole train heist was awesome.
Yeah. It was fun and different, and still a Star Wars movie, but also like a train robbery.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me see. My favorite parts were more like
anything with Chewbacca.
Interactions with characters more than story stuff. However, you're right about that train heist. That train heist was good. I've thought about it. I like Donald Glover. I didn't like Lando Calrissian.
Yeah,
he's in a series of scenes, and he's doing the same thing in every scene.
Yeah, I have to say, there were moments where I heard him sounding like Lando and where I think he tried, but then for the most part, he just sounded like Donald Glover from Atlanta. Like, he wasn't trying, and I kept wanting to hear. In fact, I couldn't resist. Like, you're not supposed to talk during a movie, but I kept going to you like, he should be talking more like this. That would be a lot more fun. You know?
Yeah.
But, so I was kind of disappointed. It's weird. I thought that I was going to come in loving Lando and hating Han, but I actually was cool with Han and wasn't enjoying Lando as much. I mean, just a little bit. Don't be that guy, but just come on.
Yeah. He's supposed to be the coolest guy in space.
Yeah.
And he wasn't. He was more it was almost more of a pandering portrayal of Lando without being like a true...
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe because he was trying to be...
They knew that we were going to expect him to say things like, hey, baby, and stuff like that. So they made him say things like, hey, baby.
But he didn't say, hey, baby,
say it
right.
He didn't say it
I
right.
remember when he said it, and I was like, you just said, hey, baby.
It's because Donald Glover is very cool. He is very cool. He's just not that brand of cool. He's not Soul Brother cool.
But how
you know?
But like you said, where was the person that's supposed to be there saying, "Hey, can you say it more like, hey, baby"?
Yeah, I don't know, but
give him a
do me a favor. Don't say "hey, baby" anymore.
Slits malt liquor, slits malt liquor, baby.
Will you stop saying "baby"? Stop saying it.
Why is that lady saying "baby" so much?
The real problem, though, is that no one's going to see it, and it is in no way a disappointing movie. It's way better than Rogue One, which I absolutely hated when I saw it. I was so worried when I saw Rogue One. I was like, oh my god, is this what the rest of the movies are going to be like? Because I don't know if I'm going to be able to...
Rogue One.
And I know a lot of people liked Rogue One.
Sorry, but Force Awakens isn't as great as so many people...
Well, here's we've had this conversation before, maybe even on this show. Force Awakens was good, sweet spot nostalgia for us.
You remember when this and remember that.
It rebooted the thing and blah blah blah, and we haven't really talked about it here, but we both loved The Last Jedi.
Yes. There are parts, a lot of the stuff I agree with. A lot of the things that people are complaining about with Last Jedi. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, but that'll be another show, because we're already 30-something minutes into this, and I don't want to be talking about Last Jedi. But, okay, I'm just saying the haters had some good points, but they were going overboard and making it their religion to hate these things. And I think even, like, with Han Solo... Mm-hmm. We want, give it a shot. You can hate it all you want, or you can not hate it all you want. Until you see it and give it a fair chance, I feel like you don't have the right to hate it. And you shouldn't hate it so much. So,
here's the deal, is that right before we sat down, you were playing a video from Mark Hamill, who said, "This is the only franchise where a group of people get on Twitter and decide if it's not what they want the movie to be, I'm out. I'm not going to go see it." So they're prejudging what the movie is beforehand.
If it doesn't have this, then I'm out.
But they're prejudging it beforehand, and so they're not going to go see a movie because they think it's not going to be what they want it to be. And it's true. Like, people will go see some ridiculous shit. I mean, Rampage came out earlier this year, and people went to see it and didn't sit there and decide, well, if it's not like the video game, I'm not going to go, Yeah. And it wasn't a good movie. I've never played the video game.
Doesn't matter.
But
I played it, but it doesn't. The video game didn't have a story.
It's the same. It was the same problem with the Last Jedi. What you already said you didn't want to talk about. But the last two Star Wars movies have fallen victim to the Star Wars fanboys, who, by the way, is exactly why George Lucas said he wasn't going to make any more Star Wars movies, because the super religious fanboys ruined it for him.
You can't make them happy.
And I would also say I'm probably glad George Lucas isn't making them, because he's got so super intellectual, political, this and stuff mixed in with his stories that he just wasn't... what he wanted to do with Star Wars was not what Star Wars should be or was. Yeah. But
I do hate the prequels, I'll just say, but I appreciate a lot of things that came out of the prequels that I will forever love. But... George Lucas was even messing up his own. So,
and George Lucas said, I'm not going to make any more Star Wars movies because the fanboys ruined it for me. Well, the fanboys are like, those people. I don't understand. Look, we decided we were worried about the movie. We had conversations on this show about it and how we're like, we're not going to say it's bad or it's going to be bad. We're worried that it's going to be bad. But then we went in and whatever, somebody said that I heard somebody say it's the most disappointing movie since it was the most disappointing movie, Star Wars movie, and hell no.
Rogue One was...
No. Rogue One was better than the prequels. The prequels were the Phantom Menace. I was so disappointed when I saw the Phantom Menace. I thought, oh no, we've waited 20 years and it's gonna be shit.
Yes, it was terrible. But pod racing, is awesome. And Darth
Pod
Maul.
racing, you could put awesome pod racing in any movie. It doesn't have to be in
Pod
Star
racing
Wars.
and Darth Maul.
Yeah, but that
And
doesn't...
the guy that was like, ooh, what do you think? You can just wave your hand and I'll do whatever you want?
but
What are you, a Jedi?
but that
That guy was great.
But that doesn't make the movie not disappointing to me. Yes, Rogue One was disappointing. I was disappointed with what they might be trying to do when they stop doing the Luke Skywalker stories. Oh no, but...
Well, I think Rogue One had a big betrayal with the Force.
Oh, they ruined it.
Yeah,
they ruined it. So, I mean, we could go on and on about this movie, about the problem with Star Wars. However, here's my thing.
I just want to say real quick, I think we need to get... make Star Wars movies in the Star Wars universe, but let's get away from Luke and all this other stuff. Let's make new stories.
Yeah. Well, we got to sit through one more Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
They're going to wrap it up.
There is some guy on YouTube
Episode
complaining that, well, they've ruined all the other, Luke and Han Solo just killed him, and Luke just threw his saber away, and blah, 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 and he's drinking sea cow milk titties, and he said, well, apparently in number 9 they're just gonna rape Yoda. Can't wait to see how they destroy Yoda. Come on, aren't these people just over dramatizing?
I think they're going to kill off Leia in the 3rd movie, in the 9th movie. What do you think?
Well, yeah.
If they don't kill off Leia in the 9th movie, I'm out.
By the way, have we talked about the Force floating, Leia Force floating?
No, we haven't, because
it's not even an issue, because if you can force pull something towards you like a lightsaber, and let's say you're force pulling a ship and you're not grounded or onto anything, if you're you're gonna pull yourself to it.
What are you talking
flying.
about?
Leia, when she
right, I know,
everyone's complaining about her flying, and you can't do that with the Force. But yeah, you could force push yourself or force pull.
The real problem with Leia doing that was the fact that she's never exhibited any signs of the Force or using the Force at all.
So, what about Rey?
Suddenly,
Rey all of a sudden can just,
hold on a second.
Do everything, and no one's ever taught her nothing.
Hold on.
Freaking Yoda was teaching Luke how to lift the ship, and he was just struggling.
Yeah, but from the first...
And she just like, I'm just going to move all these rocks and save these people.
From the first movie, she's exhibited for... So suddenly, now, over the course of, 50 years, suddenly she can force pull herself to the ship?
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
All that time, but that we haven't seen her. She couldn't have learned how to force pull? Whatever.
I just think that is the one moment in The Last Jedi that I didn't care for.
I'm just saying it's not like she couldn't do it. She had the Force. It should have been... I don't see why that's a problem.
Plus, she's out in space. She's supposed to be crystallized as a,
Well, yeah. I don't know why... I don't know why she wasn't dead already. I mean, can you be... How long can you survive?
I don't know.
I feel like you got a few seconds. Where your brain would still work.
Maybe. Who knows? The vacuum of space is supposed to... Shouldn't it crush you? It should crush you. Shouldn't it just...
I don't think that's the science behind it.
I don't know. It's a galaxy far, far away. Maybe physics are different.
But the pressure from going from a pressurized hull to suddenly outside, that can really mess you up.
Give you that's a bad day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so I'm going to say, look, if you want to go see it, go see it. Do not listen to all the naysaying online.
Forget what everyone says.
You might actually like it. Take it from me. I thought I was not going to like it.
Yeah.
I was worried I wasn't going to like it. I did really like it.
We wanted to not like it.
Once the movie starts, gets started, you have to sit through 20 minutes or so of clunky... what are we doing
bad
here?
writing, really.
It's
the
not
dialogue
great.
was bad.
It is as if they did not know how to start it.
Right.
at like how do we start this character that everybody knows and loves. Once they just got the adventure started, it was fun. It's great.
Yep.
Well, twists and turns and like, oh, we can't trust them, but I thought we could trust them, and then that guy, we love that guy. Suddenly he's, and it was fun. It was a fun movie.
Yep.
And I will say, people clapped multiple times throughout the movie. Like people that were sitting in the movie theater loved it. So I think you should go try it out for yourself.
I think you should. No matter what you thought before, if you thought you were going to hate it or you thought it, whatever, you see it anyway, give it a chance. I actually, even by the end, once certain characters were revealed, I decided that I wouldn't mind seeing a second Solo movie, because now I want to see that guy and I want to see what happens.
The problem is that if we know anything about the way studios do things, is now what it means is they're going to take less chances and who knows, if they had let those original directors keep working, we might have something totally original, unique, like something we'd never seen before, because they trusted the people they hired to tell the story.
Yeah.
So, who knows? The other thing we want to talk...
It was like a self-fulfilling prophecy. They were so worried about it getting messed up that they did all these things that created the bad press that messed it up.
A $300 million budget before publicity and promotion.
Yeah.
That is, in my opinion, too much. You do not have to spend that much money on a movie so that people will go see it. And what happens is they get so worked up, they think we got to put everything into this movie so that then if the movie's not a runaway success in the first 3 or 4 days, it's considered a failure because they didn't make their $500 million back. So suddenly, even though you remember back in the days when a movie made $100 million and I was like, that's a shit ton of money.
I couldn't believe it. Yeah.
They didn't spend $300 million making those movies, but now it's to the point where they have to make, for a movie to make money back, it had to make at least $500 million at the box office. And they expected it to be done overnight. That's not, in my opinion, that is not, they're controlling all the stuff and expecting a miracle every time they out of the box. You know what I mean?
They keep milking the same characters, and let's have new kick-ass. By the way, I petition. Come on, Old Republic, Star Wars, Knights of the Old Republic. Let's just go back in the day when Jedis were cool and everyone was just figuring out the Force and is balancing fighting over good, bad, and balance. And come on.
Well, they're going to...
Let's get away from Luke and all them.
Rian Johnson, the guy who did The Last Jedi, he's making 3 unrelated Star Wars movies.
Thank God. I bet they'll be awesome.
Who knows what they are.
Because he's already into the balance part with the Grey Jedi and,
His understanding of the Force was so much better than we'd seen in several...
It was refreshing.
Yeah, and... Even better than George Lucas's approach to the Force in the prequels.
Midichlorians, yeah.
Anyway, so we were going to talk about MoviePass a little bit too. Of course, I used my MoviePass. We all used our MoviePass. Even my daughter has a MoviePass to go see Solo.
Right, but are we going to rate it?
We're going to rate Star Wars.
Solo?
I'm going to give it... What do we give it? 3.5?
I'd say 3.5. It's not 4-star.
Yeah. It is, it was a satisfying movie.
Yeah. Liked it more than we thought it would.
Yeah. Anyway, so 3.5 stars. So, MoviePass. For those of you that... I can't imagine people don't know what MoviePass is now, but I've been using my MoviePass for about... It's over 3 years now.
Yeah. And now that we're talking about it, it's not going to be here long.
it used to cost like $35 a month. And for someone like me who goes to see a movie, at least one movie every weekend, it was still saving me money. But then, like a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, I don't know, it changed its price to $10 a month to get a surge of subscribers.
Yeah.
You joined. Again, I got my daughter one recently. So for $10 a month, you can go see any movie. You can go see a movie a day every 24 hours. So you can go today and go see a movie, tomorrow and go see a movie, the next day and go see a movie, all for just that $10. Now, you, of course, still spend money at the theater, like getting a drink or whatever, but that's not part of the MoviePass. However, the problem is that it's costing, and I wrote these numbers down so I don't forget them, it costs MoviePass $21 million a month just to be MoviePass, because people like you and me go use that card like several times a month.
Yeah.
So I'm giving them $10, but costing them $50 or $60 a month.
And also, so a lot of us have learned the hack where you can get 2 tickets for one.
What's the hack?
Because it pays for $12, so if tickets are like $5, then you can just get 2 under the. You can only swipe it once that day, but if you get 2 tickets on the one swipe,
you do. Yeah, so you end up getting 2 tickets. Yeah. That's.
I think that's where they're getting.
Well, still, it's $10 though.
Yeah. By the way, even before I got a MoviePass, I was getting free movies because I was going with you, and you were doing that.
It cost them $725,000 a day to be MoviePass. The thing is that it's funny because you want to tell people, hey man, MoviePass is struggling, go use your MoviePass, but really using the MoviePass only hurts them because it's costing them money. And just last month they said it came out that these numbers came out where it's costing them $20 million a month to be MoviePass, and it's costing them, and that on April 30th, which is just less than a month ago, they only had $15 million in the bank. So that looks like, based on these numbers, they don't even have enough money to be MoviePass for another month. But the CEO says that we're not worried about the dwindling cash and that we're still gaining 90,000 subscriptions a week. So it's like they're borrowing from Peter to pay Paul. They're like, it's like paying bills. It's like, you're paying bills at the end of the month. It's like, oh God,
At one point in my life, I paid my credit card bills with other credit cards.
Right.
Charged my credit card to pay my other credit card bill, and that's like what they're doing.
It kind of seems like that's what they're doing. Their stock has dropped from I wrote this number down too, so I didn't forget it. Their stock was at, I think it was $38. Oh, it's $38 a share, down to 41 cents a share in the last was it 3 or 4 weeks? In the past month, they've gone from $38 down to 41 cents a share. So it's getting it's getting bad buzz. People in Wall Street, all those people are saying, and I'm getting a lot of this info from Rob Goki, who's kept an eye on it. Also, so we've talked about this a little bit. Anyway, this is something that he told me, is that Wall Street basically is telling people, don't buy shares of MoviePass. It's a poor business model. What kind of a business model is happy about people using their product and it costs them money every single time? You're supposed to be making money when people use your thing. So I don't know what they're going to do to save MoviePass. I would gladly pay more a month for it because I thought it was a bad idea when they came down to not $10 a month as it was. I'm like, how are they going to do that? Because first thing I thought was they're going to regret doing that. And it seems like they don't. But the CEO of MoviePass has been pretty steel-faced. Is that the right? Stonewalled. I don't know. Anyway, he's basically
steel balled.
Not balls of steel. Could be, because he's like, I'm not worried. I'm not worried. He's staring down the vortex. He's just looking at it, going, we got it. deep down on the inside, he's got to be freaking out just a little bit, because this thing he's been working on for years and years and years is really struggling. It's down to 41 cents a share. So I thought, hey man, maybe I'd buy some MoviePass at 41 cents a share, because
if he's got something up his sleeve we don't know about,
or maybe they're going to pull it out of the hat somehow, or maybe like you were saying, I think you were saying they need to be acquired by somebody.
I was thinking somebody was throwing out all this bad press to bring the price down so they could acquire MoviePass, like a movie chain or something, and then just take the technology, do it right, and then apply it. You can get more people to your theaters if you have some kind of a model like this, where a movie a day for a certain amount, and then just include it with the whole club thing, where you get the card and you get discounts for popcorn and all that stuff, and a free movie every once in a while. Why not? I mean, that's what I would do if I was any kind of a movie company. I would acquire this business at this low price and connect it to my theaters and get a whole lot more people.
The thing is, if you acquire it at that low price, if it does fail, you didn't lose much, because 41 cents a share, like you could buy 100 shares of that for $50. I
feel like AMC or a Cinemark or some
well,
kind of theater chain.
AMC hates MoviePass. They've hated them from day one.
That's why they should buy it.
They've hated MoviePass, and then MoviePass, when they were starting to struggle a little bit, maybe in the last 6 months, they called up the movie theaters like AMC and said, "Oh, we have the numbers from." Because they're data tracking. They can track data.
Yeah.
We have the numbers from your 10 most popular AMC theaters around the world, or maybe it's just country, and they said, we would like to, and we can see how many people are using movie passes at your 10 biggest things, and we'd like a share of the box office and concessions. And AMC was like, fuck you. And then MoviePass said, "Oh, fine then. People won't be able to use MoviePass at your AMCs, at your 10 most popular AMCs." And AMC was like, "Again, fuck you, because like people were those are the most popular AMC theaters for a reason. Like people go there no matter if the MoviePass exists or not. So the only person getting hurt at that point is the people who subscribe to MoviePass.
Yep.
Our theater at Disney Springs out by Disney is one of the top 10. So the MoviePass doesn't work there anymore."
Well, I was saying that's why they should acquire it.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's a good idea.
I don't know if AMC is going to acquire it.
Well, somebody should.
So,
because I mean, you got all those people that are already there. You have all of their, if anything, you would acquire all those people, that subscriber base, and just apply them to whatever your thing is.
So I'm also saying it's also getting bad PR. This is like the bad PR episode.
So go get MoviePass.
Go get a MoviePass.
Go get your free movies.
Honestly,
now. It's MoviePass.com, right?
It's MoviePass.com. There's an app, and when you show up to the movie theater, you just check in at the movie theater and you tell it what movie you want to see, and it says, "Okay, go use your card." And you swipe your card, you get your movie for free, basically. I love it. It has saved me a ton of money. I know it's not really helped MoviePass out all that much, but it has saved me a bunch of money because I go see things weekly. But now I go see things that I normally might not have seen, just because I put it on the MoviePass. You know, I can go kill a couple of hours seeing something I wasn't sure about. Anyway, you had digital streaming suggestion.
Oh.
We have a couple minutes here.
I wanted to recommend, if you have Hulu, check out, it's called Colossal. Stars Anne Hathaway, Jason Sudeikis. Is it?
I think Colossal is that's a movie that they made. It's not only on Hulu.
It's a little indie movie. It's not only on Hulu. It's everywhere, I believe.
Okay.
I think it's even on Netflix, Amazon.
Okay.
But it's if you already have Hulu, you don't have to rent it. Like, if it's on Amazon, I think you still have to rent it.
Yeah, okay.
Or whatever. But if you have Hulu, it's colossal. It's just sitting there waiting for you to watch it. Really great indie movie, especially if you're into the kaiju or the big monster movie, Godzilla. Mm-hmm. This is a really cool what if kind of a scenario. Okay. On that. All right. It's really good. And it's made by the same company. Do I have the name here? Is it Bright Light Pictures? Anyway, this company, they're like a motion picture studio made up of fans. And they're on trying to get fans to basically become the investors. And then so basically it's a movie studio for fans by fans.
FUBU. It's FUBU.
Yeah.
Except for moviegoers, not hip-hop stuff.
Right.
Well, that's cool. I didn't know about that. I didn't know that.
Yeah. I'll put a...
It's very rare that you know something that I don't.
Yeah, I put a post in our on our Movieisms Facebook page. Mm-hmm. So I'll repost it again. But yeah, they're looking for investors right now and crowdfunding and stuff. And
that's pretty cool.
It is really cool.
I'm going to check that out.
I'll repost it.
So my recommendation is I'm going back to Filmstruck. I've been working my way through some of the classic films that I'd never seen before. One of those was Stagecoach. My favorite thing about watching Stagecoach on Filmstruck was the film history lesson that you find inside the commentary. Commentary goes into... It's not by the director because John Ford died long before they were doing commentaries and everything like that. But they were doing... you have film historians and critics coming in to analyze the film on how they made it and how they shot it, but also give you a history of like how movies were made back then, where John Ford got certain ideas from and did things. And it's so, if you love movies the way I do, you will love listening to these commentaries. The one I'm working my way through now is a movie that I had seen a long time ago, Seven Samurai, which is generally considered one of, well, not generally, it is like a masterpiece.
Oh, yes.
And the commentary, it's a 3-hour and 27-minute long movie. So the way they did with this commentary, which is great, I'm, again, loving the commentary. I'm still working my way through it. Every 40 minutes, there's a new film critic or historian to come in and talk for about 40 minutes. Since it's such a long movie, they decided to have several people come in and talk about it. Each of them take a 40-minute chunk of the movie and give their take on what's happening in the movie in that time, but also their Akira Kurosawa film lesson. It's film nerd like gasm. It's film nerd gasm. It's like you can turn it on and just watch it. And I don't know what it is about listening to that stuff. I have always liked commentaries, but this Filmstruck stuff, which is basically the Criterion Collection commentaries, is it's like a sweet spot. It's like I'm giddy about it, just sitting there listening to this stuff, and it's like nobody cares. Like I know there are film people that do care, but it's like trying to tell my students, or if you're at like 7-Eleven buying a drink, hey man, did you see the audio commentary for Seven Samurai on Filmstruck? They're like, what are you talking about? It's like, it's not like that, but I enjoy it. I enjoy it a lot. So
we ought to become affiliates.
I highly recommend Filmstruck. It's $10 a month. You can they add new things all the time.
I would say if only just to. I mean, they've got everything. Do they have every Akira Kurosawa movie?
No, they don't have every one, but they've got 16 of his best known ones. Okay. Akira Kurosawa made like 50 films in his time. So.
I promise you, that's hard to find online.
It's hard to find online. Kurosawa is hard to find pretty much anywhere. This is like, as far as I know, is the largest Kurosawa collection on streaming. He's generally considered the greatest filmmaker that ever was, the greatest director that ever was. That's debatable. People, it's like, who's the favorite? Who's the best? You never really know. But he is the one who started people like Scorsese, Coppola, Spielberg, all of the people we consider great today. all watched Kurosawa's films and wanted to make movies.
Yeah, you can teach classes off of his movie because he used. I don't know if he invented I don't think he invented all the techniques he uses, but he created a lot of techniques and just ways of visually telling stories that we've used ever since.
Yeah, it's now part of the landscape of how we do things.
By the way, the thing I was telling you about is called Legion M.
Okay. That's the company? The
company. What if all the biggest movie lovers in the world pooled their money to build an entertainment company? So Legion M raised the money for and produced that colossal movie and a couple of other movies. Jason Sudeikis is an investor in it.
That's cool. That's really cool. I'm going to look them up.
Yeah, I'll reshare that link. They're at wefunder.com if you want to become an investor and join. Legion M is cool. We'll talk about it later. But anyway.
Well, that's it for this week. We jam-packed it full of a bunch of different things. Go see Solo is our advice. Go see Solo.
Just see it.
See Colossal and see and subscribe to Filmstruck, especially if you're a movie lover. All kinds of stuff on there. If you like this podcast, you've been listening, please go give us a 5-star review on iTunes. That really helps us become visible to more people. We're running the T-shirt thing right now. We had 2 people.
Oh, yeah.
We had 2 people take us up on that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We've got 2 new reviews up on there.
Sweet.
So that's cool. Again, we didn't ever post a picture of it, but we're gonna post a picture this time. Brad wearing a little Movieisms shirt, and the deal is write us a review in iTunes. Give us a 5-star review. And we will send you a T-shirt while supplies last.
But you got to subscribe too. We got the subscribe buttons. Come to our page. What is it?
Oh yeah,
Movieisms.com.
Movieisms.com. Yeah, we got our website up and running. Movieisms.com. You can find out all this stuff there.
Just there's sign up buttons everywhere. So just put in your name and email, and then we'll just give us a review and we'll contact you and figure out how to send you a shirt.
Yeah, not sure what we're going to do for next week's episode, but it'll be something.
What do you mean?
What do you mean, what do I mean?
Oh, you usually like to say on next week's episode we're going to do blah,
I'm just
blah,
saying,
blah.
we don't know what... I don't know. I don't know yet.
It could be an all-streaming episode.
Maybe we'll see. That sounds boring.
We see a movie. Come on, it's summer. We're going to be seeing some movies.
Yeah. But until then, check us out. See you on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram.
We're Movieisms. We're Movieisms everywhere except Twitter right now. We're Movieisms_pod, right?
Yeah.
Because they wouldn't give us Movieisms for some reason.
Yeah. It's
but
okay.
Movieisms@gmail.com. Talk to us, complain, whatever.
Or just go to our website, movieisms.com.
Please do.
And you can find all this information there.
I'm going to put that stuff you talked about.
Okay, and before we go, don't forget to, if you want to listen to spoiler talk, we have a few minutes of spoiler talk at the end of this episode after the credits and everything. Just stay tuned.
Stay tuned!
And we'll do that. So, okay.
That's what we do.
Say goodbye, Chewie. Say the end, Chewie.
The end, Chewie.
No, say the end in Chewie.
I do it the
I don't know.
way.
I don't know what that was. Okay, so as we've traditionally started our new thing, which is where we talk about spoilers right after the end credits. So if you have not seen Solo and you're listening to this and you don't want spoilers, now's the time to turn us off.
And
Come back later. Brad had more than I did, but there are a couple of things we could talk about with this movie that were cool.
Okay, well, favorite moments. Well, another thing is I couldn't talk about how he found Chewbacca. I almost spoiled it regular in the show.
Yeah.
But in the pit, when he gets thrown in the pit,
I liked that scene because it was funny.
Yeah.
But it was also, again, that's what I was saying when I was saying, like, Chewbacca is like a badass warrior.
Yeah.
He's throwing him around. However, I knew it was Chewbacca the second they threw him down he's with the Beast.
Right.
Why would they call it the Beast? These people know what a Wookiee is.
Yeah.
They're saying the Beasts because the scriptwriter didn't want to give it away.
Yeah, but I don't know. In a way, in our past, we called what do you call it? What did we used to call when we came to America? And there was a name we had for Indians that they were less
savages.
Savages, okay. So I think that's like calling them a Wookiee a savage, calling them a beast. I guess.
You just reminded me of one of my favorite spots.
Okay.
So one of my favorite spots is when Han Solo is standing there with the military guy. And he says, we got hostiles over here and over here. And Han Solo says to him, we're on their planet. We're the hostiles.
Right.
which I thought was so good because that comments on like our current status in the world. It comments on like America in general, not just America, but for me as an American, how we moved in here and we just like, we got to get these savages out of here. And like, we're the savages. We're the ones. These people are living peacefully, like, farmers, but when he said, we're on their planet, we are the hostiles. It's like, shows like a total, like you're not going to fit in here, Han Solo. You're not going to fit in here, Han Solo. I didn't like how they created his name. Solo. You're by yourself, so you're Solo. Something so cool as Han Solo. That can't just be his last name.
It was a little bit of a letdown.
I wish that...
It would have been cooler if he had come up with that. If he had said it instead of the guy picking it for him.
Yeah. But also, why can't that just be his name? Luke Skywalker was already Skywalker's name. Like, they have weird names in this, but suddenly it's like, oh, you're by yourself. It's such a boring reason to be called Han Solo. Yeah,
that was a little bit of a letdown.
Anyway, I said I didn't have many spoilers, but I'm the one that's been talking. So what were?
Yeah. The Darth. It wasn't Darth Maul because it looked like in the time this takes place. Where does this take place?
I was trying to think. I was trying to figure that out. I was talking to Rob Goki about this. Rob Goki said Han Solo was 29 during A New Hope. So if this takes place,
before
15 years before this,
right?
That makes him like 15 or 16 years old. So the timeline's messed up a little bit. So, but I don't know where the...
But it's after the third...
Is it after the third prequel?
I'm guessing. It's after the second for sure. So it's
definitely got to be after. It's got to fall between the third prequel and Rogue One. So Han Solo is somewhere between the third prequel and Rogue One. So that's not Darth Maul.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. It can't be Darth Maul because the time it takes place, and it wasn't him, and it was an older guy anyway. And I've watched the cartoons, the Star Wars, Clone Wars cartoons, 3D animated. It was really cool. Anyway, there's a whole planet. Like, they're a race of, I don't know their names, but, males, females, where they just all have this demon-looking horns and stuff. Mm-hmm. So it could be anyone. But he had a lightsaber, right? It looked like a lightsaber. I could have swore I saw a lightsaber.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, because he stood up and did his saber. So I'm thinking, when I saw that, I was like, okay, this movie was pretty good. I wouldn't mind a sequel where I get to see a Darth dude and maybe a Jedi or two, you know? And
Yeah.
come on. That would be great. That'd be the Star Wars movie I've been wanting for a long time.
I liked that because if you remember Darth Maul from the prequels, it has a very ominous. When you see that face, you're like, "Oh, it just got serious." Like, there's a true villain here.
Yeah, and they come from a planet like their females are kind of like witchcraft practitioners. They use the Force in like kind of witchcraft ways. So that's a whole cool thing they could do in a sequel movie.
A sequel movie. Anything else?
I don't think so.
We didn't say this before, but I thought I liked Woody Harrelson as the mentor character.
Yeah.
He at times feels weird in this universe.
Yeah. When you first meet him.
But I had it sort of, it was like an interesting choice to have him there. In the way it was interesting to have Benicio del Toro in The Last Jedi.
That was one of the things I had problems with Last Jedi. Yeah. There were some awkward things in Last Jedi. Like, we liked it, but there were some things that were wrong with it.
Yeah, as with every movie.
Right.
Yeah.
But not
Almost
as many things wrong with Solo.
Yeah.
It's pretty solid.
So, was that it?
That's all my favorite parts, I think, and that's all the spoiler stuff.
We must be forgetting something, but it's
probably. Okay. But that was the stuff I wanted to talk about: the Darth dude, the train robbery. I don't know the pirate leader character's name, but
yeah, she was.
She
cool.
was hot when she took the helmet off. But the helmet was kick-ass too.
The helmet, her helmet was awesome. I liked the pirate characters, and I liked that you expect that they're a bad guy all the way through till the end when they reveal themselves to be like the underdog people fighting. I thought that was a cool twist.
And by the way, that was part of the good storytelling with Han Solo. Is he doesn't start off as a good guy wanting to do good stuff. So it was just he was doing it as a means to an end, and then they were there, and then he found out that it was a good cause, and then he realized, oh, okay, well, let me do my little savvy little idea here, and we can twist things around and help them and screw this guy who I'm mad at now, and yeah, it was kind of that's where the story ended up, to where he was sagacious, more like the Han Solo we know,
right? Because
then he was like went a little do-gooder, and okay, I think I can make this work out for everyone and get rid of the bad guy. Yeah, that was cool. It was good. What did you think of the lightsaber knife? It wasn't a lightsaber knife. It was like
a Krull thing.
It was a heat blade, but it made sound. It made a.
Yeah, it was cool. It was cool.
So it wasn't a lightsaber, but it'll slice through you.
Yeah.
That was kind of cool.
Yeah.
He threw it once too, I think.
He threw it once.
Favorite characters? I told you mine. The pirate queen, I guess you could say, with the. Yeah. It had like an anime robot kind of look with all the little tubes off the top.
My favorite character has got to be.
That's not Chewbacca or Han Solo.
Well, it's not Han Solo.
Yeah, definitely not.
My favorite Star Wars character is Han Solo, but I'm not sure.
In this movie, it's probably Chewbacca would be.
I don't know. The more we talk about it, the more mediocre I am. So, the more
it's Chewbacca, because you were jumping.
Chewbacca is my favorite. Yeah,
you loved every moment with Chewbacca.
They did him right. In this movie, and I like being able to see more Chewbacca.
By the way, you had a problem, and I think some other people had a problem with the way the ship looked, where it wasn't the way the Millennium Falcon is, and they beat the crap out of it. I'm surprised Lando was able to fly it off the planet. Did we get to see what it looked like when it was repaired?
Yeah, the last time you see it after it's flown through that asteroid field or whatever that thing was, and it's fought to get its way out
Castle
of
Run.
The ship has its 2 points on the left and right now instead of coming all the way to a point. But
so they did fix it.
I thought it was not explained well. Like suddenly it can lose that whole portion of the ship and it's still a ship. Like that was a big front. It's like losing the front of your. It's like taking the front of your car and chopping a hole in between the middle and pulling it out, and your car's still working. Like why?
Yeah.
I want to know why.
Technically, the engines are in the back, so you could do that.
But there's still. I mean, but you still have the front of the ship doesn't have a gaping hole in it. You can't have a gaping hole in your ship. But it's missing a big giant portion of the thing, and they didn't explain it. I think if you're not going to explain it, why do it in the first place?
Well, just to satisfy people like you who are like, well, that's not how a ship looks.
No, I mean, but why even design it differently in the first place if you're not going to explain why?
Yeah, that's true. It could have just started out that way.
It's just creating a problem for the moviegoer that you don't take seriously or don't explain. So it's like, now it's different. They went through this big thing and now the ship looks like itself. What? Anyway, that's it. We've talked for 10 more minutes.
All right.
Peace
out.
All right.
Word. Those are the spoilers.
Bye.
You're mad now.
Yeah. The more I think about it, the less I like the movie. But but I did have fun, so I still say go see it.
The end.